Okay, it's 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning in May. I'm about to head out to a photography workshop at the East Broadtop Railroad in Rock Hill, Pennsylvania. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. I'm going to be doing it with my electric car, and just thought I would kind of set the stage here a little bit and show you what the dashboard has to say. So that we can see where we're starting off here. Now that's what the dashboard says now, but I'm going to reset everything. The thing to note on there is that I started with a full charge, 281 predicted miles, and I had 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour before. So I got everything reset, trip odometer and all. So we'll see how things go. So that's it. I'll have some progress reports along the way. I'm at the Sheets, which is kind of a halfway point, if you will. I plan to stop here on the way back because they have some car chargers here in the back. But for now, I stopped here on the way up. It's a convenient place to stop, grab a bite to eat and a coffee for breakfast. And, you know, it's 67 miles from home. Just about all of it on the Pennsylvania Turnpike at 65 miles an hour. So here's what things look like as far as the stats. As you can see, I ended up at 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, and it's 67 miles away. So I've got 174 miles of range remaining. So I've got about another 60 miles to get up to the location that I'm heading to, and then of course I got another 60 miles coming back, and I'll pick up a charge before I head on home for the remaining leg of the trip here. That's where we're at this point. So hang in there. I'll keep you posted on where we're at as we go. I made it up here to the railroad event. It took me a couple hours. I made a stop in Carlisle for breakfast and then got up here a half hour early, so I was here for the safety debriefing and all of that. As far as battery usage, it looks like I used about a half of the battery, and I'll take a look here at the screen right now. So if you notice, my battery level is just about exactly half. It's predicting I have 143 miles. Well, to get to the chargers down in Carlisle, it's about 67, 68 miles. So in spite of the hills and all of that, I think I'll make it and get some fast charge and get lunch at the same time and go from there. So I'll keep you posted. I made it back to the Carlisle place, and I'm going to go and give the my first time trying out the fast charging. We'll see how that works. So here we go. There's two cars here already. Looks like a VW, and then a Mustang Mach-E just pulled in. Here's what the screen looks like. I've got 90 miles going remaining. Probably could just barely squeak out the trip home, but I'd be on the edge. Let me bring you up to date on how my afternoon has gone. On the way home, I was going to stop in Carlisle at some DC fast chargers that were there. But what I didn't figure on was a local college having graduation, and that brought a whole bunch of other EV owners into the picture. And for instance, there was a car there with a VW. There was a Mach-E, a Mustang Mach-E there. So I couldn't get a charge because the place was tied up. So my alternate was a Harley Davidson dealership just up the street. Well, I get there and the place is jammed with hundreds of motorcycles for some kind of a rally. So there was no way I was going to get to their charger to charge the car. So I had to find an alternative. Basically, I could have made it home with 10 or 15 miles to spare, but I wanted to get a few extra miles in there, so I had a little bit more of a buffer. So I ended up finding a charge point level 2 charger, a free one, at a coffee shop. So that worked out. I ended up getting a cup of coffee, and I'm in the process of charging for an hour or so to pick up an extra 20 miles or whatever. So that's the way it's been going. So, well, I made it home, and here's what the screen stats look like. I ended up with about 42 miles of range left, and when you figure I stopped at a charge point level 2 charger and picked up 16. So I guess I would have made it, but it would have been pretty darn close. A little too close for me anyway. Looks like the total trip was 240 miles, which is about what I expected. And it looks like my average was 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour, which really wasn't too bad. So that's what ended up happening. So I was going to try making it home with what I had, and I ended up in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, and I found a level 2 charger there. So I managed to get, 16 or so miles to give me a little bit of a buffer in there. So, but I got it charged. I had a nice cup of coffee because it was right at a coffee shop, and I picked up a few miles to give me a little bit more of a buffer. So I made it. I'm home. Stay tuned. Take care.